With the Bank of England base rate rising and mortgage companies pulling their products at very short notice, the property market is in a very unsteady time at the moment. Certainly, from an estate agency point of view, you want to have a solid idea about which bits of your stock are going to sell and which ones maybe aren't going to sell in the not too distant future. My name is Chris Webb. I'm the owner of the Estate Agent Consultancy. I help estate agents up and down the UK grow, leverage, and expand their estate agency businesses. So you've got some stock on the market with yourself, and that's obviously a really good place to start. But a property on the market with yourself can be a liability until it becomes an asset when it goes under offer. So ultimately, many properties as possible when they come on the market with yourself should be selling, because that's ultimately what you get paid for. So what we're going to go through today is a really valuable tool which I've been using for years, and I recommend to all my clients as well. It's a really visual way of looking at your stock and working out exactly what is going to sell, what isn't going to sell, and the stuff that's in between the two, what we can do to potentially get that under offer in the not too distant future. So let's jump in the video and see and talk through how this is going to look. So you can play along at home with this one. This is a very joint exercise on this side. Let's say to get a piece of paper and divide it into 3. We're going to have 3 columns on your piece of paper: red, amber, and green. So red, amber, and green. So what does this mean? Obviously, UK traffic light system. So red is a bit of stock that is probably not going to sell. You've had a chat with the homeowner about the pricing of the property. It may be overvalued or it isn't selling for some reason. You've gone forward with suggestions to get that property sold, whether that be a price reduction or a relaunch or something like that, and they're not having any of it, and it's a bit of stock almost for having a bit of stock's sake. So this one we are not expecting to sell anytime soon. Let's go to the other end of the spectrum. Green is the complete opposite of this. Green is property where you put it on the market fairly recently, it's got a large amount of interest on the property already, and it's going to sell. So you might have listed on the market a week ago, for example, you've got 10 viewings booked in for the weekend, you fully expect it to sell, therefore you haven't really got much to do around the outside of that because it should organically sell itself quite quickly. And amber is exactly between the two of these. This is usually where most stock lies on an estate agent's listings book. This is properties that are on the market at the moment, might have been on for a couple of days, might have been on for a couple of weeks, might have been on for a couple of months, but something needs to happen to this property to get it to sell. This could be a new marketing strategy, it might be going to auction, it might be changing the photographs of the property, or it might be changing the price on the property, which is usually the most common answer in these situations. So what we would now do, now we know what each of these columns are doing, we need to put each of your bits of stock in one of these columns. So I'm going to make these houses up, as you might imagine. You might have one new road, which is a red property. So this one, we've had a chat with the homeowner, they're not dropping the price down, refuse to do any marketing changes, it's on the market for on the market's sake, you're waiting for the right person on the right day to want to buy that property. You're not expecting these to sell anytime soon. You might also have a property, let's call it number 1 Old Street. Nice and consistent on our names here. And this property, you might have put on the market a couple of days ago and it's going to sell. You've got 4 or 5 viewings booked in for the weekend, or you've got a second viewing booked in for the not too distant future. So this property is going to sell. Now on the amber side, if I just change pen, this is probably where we need to put most of our effort into, because this is stuff we can really positively affect. The ultimate goal here is to move the properties that are in the red column to the amber, and the stuff's in the amber over to the green. And the green stuff should be selling. So that's ultimately the kind of the flow we're looking to achieve here. So in the amber column, we've got New Street, we've got Old Street, and let's call this one Middle Street. That is a property where we can potentially get this property sold. So something needs to change with this home. This is where you do a full marketing review of the property. You look at the way it's presented online. You might reorder the photographs with regard to reorder them online, or actually reordering them, getting them redone completely. Sometimes the biggest factor affecting the sale of these properties can be the price. This is where getting price sensitive feedback can really be your friend. So if you've had 5 viewings on that property, let's say it's on for £250,000, let's pick a nice round figure, and you've had viewings on that property and the price sensitive feedback you've received is that they wouldn't pay over £230,000 for it. But ultimately, that in the current marketplace is where the value sits for that property. So really, it's a £230,000 property. If you haven't got that price sensitive feedback, you need to almost revalue the property by sitting in front of your machine, going through Rightmove Plus, Zoopla Pro, see what's on the market, see what the comparables are looking at, and seeing what is selling in the local area. Is it actually a 230 property? If we can get this down to 230, you'd be pretty sure that this street property would then come over here and become a green property. As a slight warning for when you do this, do not be surprised if you've got very few in this column. Usually, when you do this exercise with most estate agencies, let's say they've got 10 properties for sale, you might only have 1 or 2 properties in the green column. But your goal is to look at the properties in the amber and red column and go, what can I do to get these properties sold? Is it a marketing issue? Do I need to do some social media around it? Is it a price change? Is it the photographs? What do I need to do? And then action that with the property and try and move them across this scale. So that is how you move them across. If you'd like to know a few guides about how to get some extra traction on the properties you have online at the moment, head to estateagentconsultancy.com, go to the contact us page, send us a quick message on there, and we'll send you back a guide how to get your property listings on Rightmove, all singing or dancing, so they should generate some more leads for you on that side of things as well. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll catch up very soon. Have a good day. Bye-bye.